When the United States Constitution was created, Anti-Federalists did not approve of it because it failed to address the basic civil rights of the people. So, the Bill of Rights, consisting of 10 civil liberties, was created to prevent a future intrusive government. Among those 10 amendments was the First Amendment, which states that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. The First Amendment was perhaps the most fundamental and important liberty for the colonists. The protection from government interference into people's religious lives was a major cause for them to leave their homelands and to establish a new government. In the 1620s, the Pilgrims left England on the Mayflower because they were being forced to follow the Church of England. In the 1630s, the Puritans followed in the Pilgrims' footsteps because they were being threatened by King Charles I for following their Puritan lifestyle. Both of these parties left their homelands to go to America in order to have the right to follow their own religions. Even today, millions of people are still coming to America because of the lack of religious freedom in their countries of origin. Freedom of religion helps foster America's diversity, making it a place of numerous ethnicities, religions, and making it a place that people feel safe and comfortable living in. After all, this was the original intent of the framers. They included 2 principles of freedom of religion in the First Amendment. The Establishment Clause was intended to prevent the government from favoring one religion or presenting one religion as a better choice. The Free Exercise Clause guaranteed that every person was allowed to follow whatever religion they wanted. By creating these 2 basic liberties, the framers were able to establish the idea that America is a safe country that is welcoming to everyone. Recently, the president made an executive order preventing 7 countries' citizens from entering the United States.
The president has issued 2 executive orders attempting to make good on his campaign promise to essentially stop all Muslims from entering the United States, what he called a complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States. These courts are finding that the executive orders are overbroad, they're overreaching, and most importantly that they run contrary to our core values as a country and at the heart of our Constitution, which is that we don't discriminate based on one's faith.
What makes these executive orders unconstitutional is the fact that they go against the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause.
They find that it is based on the president's statements discriminatory against Muslims such that it violates what's called the Establishment Clause, which prohibits favoring one religion over another and conversely prohibits disfavoring a religion.
These orders are not only violating the Constitution, but also creating an environment in which discrimination against these nationalities is defensible.
It's also clear that around the world, freedom of religion is under threat, and that's what I want to reflect on this morning. We see governments engaging in discrimination and violence against the faith. We sometimes see religion twisted in an attempt to justify hatred and persecution against other people just because of who they are, how they pray, or who they love.
Hate no longer hides behind hoods. This was the scene in the liberal college town of Charlottesville, Virginia on Friday, reminiscent of images from a dark American past.
This is our town now!
Hundreds of white nationalists from across the country descended upon the University of Virginia's campus ahead of a planned demonstration to protest the removal of the statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee.
White lives matter! White lives matter!
This brings us to my main point in this video. The reason that the First Amendment is so important to me is not just because it supports religious freedom. It's mostly because the First Amendment is an essential factor against all types of discrimination and injustice. Around the world, people are trying to justify their hatred towards others by covering it up with the differences in faith. Recently, I found a survey that shows 65% of Iranian Americans feel that they are experiencing or have experienced discrimination in the U.S. I couldn't believe the results of the survey. Therefore, for this video, I interviewed a group of Iranian Americans and I asked them how they were affected by the travel ban and if they are experiencing any discrimination. Of all the individuals who I interviewed, only one stated that this travel ban is not against the U.S. Constitution and that he had not experienced any type of discrimination.
I, fortunately, have never experienced discrimination based on my ethnic origin.
However, the rest of them had a different opinion.
Yes, it has somehow affected me because I do have family members that now I cannot see them or I cannot invite them over. Yeah.
Discrimination was here many years ago when I first came here, and now it's getting even worse. More and more, I am feeling that this is not a safe place for me. This is not the country I was thinking of before I came here. In some situations, I feel like they're telling me that I don't belong here or that I'm not one of them. I myself have not been affected, but I know lots of families and friends who have been affected by this travel ban. Many students are not sure whether they will be able to come back to the United States if they leave for a short time to visit their family. I have received my PhD here and I'm currently working, but I'm thinking of returning home because none of my friends and family can come and visit me and I feel lonely. The First Amendment was the main reason I became a US citizen. However, in the first job interview I had in America, the interviewer asked me where I was coming from. When I told him Iran, he very bluntly asked me, "What are you doing in America?" I was born and raised here, and as a kid, I remember experiencing discrimination. I can tell you that it's not nice to feel like a second-class citizen, and the travel ban is reminding me of those memories.
I believe the First Amendment is important to guarantee the separation of the state and religion, and to ensure that there is never any established discrimination.